Morning everybody, it's Phil here from Telford Koi Pond. We're out in the garden today because I've decided to do some filter changes. So I've been thinking about this for a while. I've done my research. I hope I've done enough, but I think I've done enough. I'm fairly confident with it. So if you've followed the build, you'll know that when I originally did this, I put an Oasis Aquamax Classic remote control pump, 12,000 litres an hour in here. And how it's connected up, the water comes into the pump bay. The pump's down there, you can't see it at the moment, it's underneath this. But what happens is the pump takes it in, pushes it through the Bitron, out through here, and then it goes round in this 1.5 inch pipe, and at that point there, not sure whether you'll see that, it tees off. So basically some of it goes to the heat pump, and then the rest of it goes through there, and there's two returns into the pond. There's a valve there, there's a valve there, and there's a ball valve down the bottom as well as one through there. So the flow effectively is all controlled by ball valves. So I was happy with that. I didn't think I was getting enough flow, so I swapped my 12,000 litres an hour pump. Sorry, I didn't swap it, I bought an 18,000 litre an hour pump, so I swapped them over. So I've now got an 18,000 litre an hour pump in there, 12,000 litre one sitting in the garage collecting dust. So I'm thinking, do I really want one pump operating everything? And I decided I didn't. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to put the Bitron in. I'm going to leave the 18,000 litre an hour pump in there, and that's just going to feed the low level and mid water returns into the pond. So what I'm going to do, this tee that goes out to the heat pump, I'm just going to cap it off. I'm not going to completely get rid of it because I do, in case I want to do something moving forward. So I'll show you what I'm going to do with that, but literally I'm just going to cut the pipe and cap it off, weld a pressure end cap onto it. The 12,000 litre an hour pump I'm going to put in here. It's going to come up. I'm going to hardwire it all in. I did buy solvent flexi pipe, but it just goes against the grain. To be honest, I prefer PVC welded. So I'm going to put it up into here through a rubber coupler. Not free. I did buy all these, but I would just like to say that I do particularly like the Oasis easy connectors. I've bought other ones, as you can see, but other ones I've bought tend to be flat, where they go from one diameter to another. Whereas all the all the Evolution Aqua ones have got this slope on, and I just prefer that. I just think it's, you know, it sort of helps the water, particularly when it's in a pressure situation. So there's going to be one of those either side of here, and then I'm going to have to do some sort of U shape, and then straight outside and connect it up to where the heat pump is at the minute. So basically the pump that's already in there, not touching it, and that will just feed the high water, mid water returns into the pond, and I can turn that down to about 40–50%, so it's really going to be, you know, quite easily running that one. The 12,000 litre an hour pump, again, is going to be running about 50% to allow for a bit of loss in pipe work, but that will literally come out and straight into the heat pump, and then obviously out into the pond at the other end in a low water return. So I'll then have two pumps operating. I'll have two controllers, so I can turn them up and down, and yes, I can still control flow with the valves, but I just feel better doing it with a switch on the proper digital control on the control panels. So that's where we are. As you can see, I've got every tool, everything out ready to go. Fittings, just a shout out to Cotswold Koi. They always give me excellent service. I've always bought my pressure pipes and my pressure pipe fittings from them. Fantastic service. I think 99% of the time I get next day delivery, and if you forget something on an order, give them a ring, they'll throw it in for you as well, so brilliant. So that's all my pipe work I think I'll need. I've got two valves left from the original pond build, so just because I can, I'm going to put some ball valves in. My glue of choice is Well Done 725 wet and dry. So I know there's lots and lots of other ones on the market, but I do find this one the best. And that's it really. The only thing, as I say, I've got a box full of stuff there that's absolutely full of fittings and connectors. They're all over the place. I need to be a bit tidier. So I'm all ready to go. Had the breakfast of champions already. Can't beat Coca-Cola for breakfast. Get the sugar rush doing. And that's it. So I'm just going to do a bit, and then I'll show you where I've got to, and then I'll catch up with you later, and I'll just keep giving you updates throughout the day, and hopefully everything goes to plan. So I'll speak to you in a bit. Cheers. Okay, so we've moved on a bit since this morning. Progress is going well at the minute, touch wood. This is where I'm up to. So this is the Oasi Acromax Classic 12,000C. I've taken it out of its housing to give me some more room in there. And what I've done, as you can see, would I have liked to have bought another Vitron 55 watt UV, 300 and odd pound? The answer is yes. Have I? The answer is no, because I've got no money left basically. So for now, this is what I'm going to do. So the way I've connected this up, it may look a bit Heath Robinson, but I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. I had these proper connectors, so these proper connectors actually, Oasi connectors actually screw onto the thread on this, and this is when I was going to use flexible tube, but as I say, I've decided not to. I'd just rather have it all hard welded in. So that is a 1.5 inch straight connector rubber boot. So I've taken at that end, all I've done is put it in hot water to make it more pliable, and I've actually threaded that onto the thread of the collar of there. So obviously I've put a cap around the back of it, sorry, a Jubilee clip, and then I've zip tied it on because I just want, this was flapping around too much. And then on the other end it's just a 90-degree bend with an 80mm piece of pipe in there, so that's a double Jubilee clipped into there. Riser up here, 90-degree. Again, there's a 75mm piece of pipe in there, which is double Jubilee clipped onto here, and that should just fit nicely into the pump chamber. So I suppose we need to test the magic. So here goes nothing. It's a bit fiddly. So that should go in there, and the reason I'm doing this as well is because I want to be able to still use that media chamber. So I'll tidy it all up afterwards, but let's just get it in position. Perhaps could have slacked that rubber boot off a bit, but there you go. So that's nicely in position, pump's sitting nicely on the bottom. I'll tidy up the cables in a minute. So that the intake for the pump is on that side, so it's got a great big drawer on there, and that's given me a good 6 inches between the end of the drawer on this pump as well. So obviously they're both sitting the same way and drawing. So that's for the inside of this. Now that's it really. I just need to tighten that up, put another Jubilee clip on, because I'm always going to put two on where I can fit them. And then I can start playing around with the plumbing on the outside. So that's part one done effectively. I'm going to carry on for a bit longer, and then I'll catch up with you when I've done the next bit. See you in a bit. Back again, done a little bit more, so we thought we'd do a catch-up part. So as you know, the pump's in and the connection to the outside is almost in. I've now done the pipe work, which will take the water from the outside of this chamber, and you can see around here. So this capping boot's got to come off. So this will then replace the capping boot, and obviously will sit there but lower down. So that will then basically take the water straight out through the chamber, and I'll join it up with the other pipe which is currently out there, which we'll go and have a look at in a minute. So I'll just get this all put together. So obviously I need to stop the pumps for doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the bottom drain valve off, but I'm going to leave the pump pumping for a bit, so that it pumps water out of the chamber, drop the water level down to below the bottom of this boot, so obviously it'll be below the bottom of that boot, and then I can take that off. And then once that's done, because there's a ball valve on here, I'll get this fitted, obviously not the end bit, and then obviously I can turn the ball valve off and fill the water level back up, and hopefully the ball valve will hold it. So I'll do that bit, and then I'll catch up with you again. Cheers. Action. Back again. I think this is part 3. Everything takes twice as long as you think it's going to take, but obviously that's probably just me being OTT and over engineering everything and double screwing and triple gluing, but anyway, there you go. Also, they're very clean jobs in koi keeping. Everything I do, I get filthy. But anyway, good news, we're halfway there. So, what I've done is pumps in. Pipe work is now all glued in. So, the 18,000 litre an hour pump, which is at the bottom of here, only pumps through this pipe work, around the back of the filter, and then there's two returns, one sort of high water and one mid water. That's all it's pumping. The 1200 pump, when it gets turned on, will only be pumping from here through that pipe, which goes out through the back and straight into the existing pipes that were already there for the air source heat pump. So this T that used to feed the air source heat pump, I've left that going out, and I've left the 45-degree bend on and a bit going down, then I've just blanked it off. So if ever I need something out there like a backy shower, then I can start splitting things off again. So, moment of truth for this pump anyway, need to turn it all on. So let's turn that on, turn that on, and the important one is turn the bottom drain on. So we have water through the filters, through the thing, da 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 da. So I'll turn the drum filter on. This will probably clean. No, okie dokie. And I'll turn this pump on. Let me just turn that. You can probably hear the water. It's at 40% at the minute, but as I say, that pump now is only pumping through these two returns on this wall. So I'm going to stick my arm in and see if we can feel any movement. Do you want to pop round this way? I say feel any movement, I've got that much glue on my hands, I can't feel anything. Right there, camera lady. So all this pipe work here was the original air source heat pump pipe anyway. So all I've done, this pipe was a bit longer, went into 45-degree, and there's a pipe under here now that's just capped off. I don't know whether you can just screw around that side. So the only thing I've done to that pipe really is capped it off and sawn it off. This pipe here now going into there is new, but we haven't turned that one on yet. But anyway, the capped pipe, which is the one we're testing, isn't leaking, which is great, and I can already see flow in the pond. If I put my hand in, oh yeah, at 40%, that's stronger than it was when the oh, I could just feel it with my fingertips. That's stronger than it was when it was at 90% with the other pumping doing both feeds. So that's really great, I'm pleased with that. Okay, so that's phase one done. The filter's up and working again, which is good, so I can not worry about leaving everything turned off for a bit. So I'm going to give the glue on the other bit, because there's lots of glued joints on the other half. I'm going to give that half an hour to dry off. Put my pump controller onto the wall, and then we'll come back and do the turn on with that as well, and hopefully that'll work as well. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so move forward a little bit. I've just given it time for the glue to dry, so it's that time where we're going to test it, see how it goes. So that's already on because the other pump's working. So the pump's in, it's all wired up now. So I'm going to turn the pump on. All the valves are on. I can hear it. I don't see anything. Yeah, I can feel it. Okay, turn the air source heat pump back on. And let's go and do the stick your arm in the pool test. Air source heat pump's only set at 18 and it's 18.5 degrees at the minute. So the return from there comes out mid-water down here, so that's where you get your arm wet time. Lovely, lovely jubbly. So both pumps are working on 40% at the minute, just because I want a nominal flow going through rather than the 1800 litre per hour pump working at 90%. So I reckon on 40% I should have roughly, no I shouldn't, I'm running each pump on 50%, I should have roughly what it was when one pump was running the whole pond. So that's it, fingers crossed. I can't hear any rushing water. Connections are all dry. Great stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that running for another half an hour or so, and then I'll check all the pipes and the welds and everything again, and then if it's still dry I'll start packing the tools up. I think every tool in the garage is out on the garden at the minute. It's amazing what you need. So yeah, fingers crossed, hopefully that's it. 2 pumps, so as I say, hopefully it'll all just go run perfectly now. So give me half an hour, let me do all my final checks, let me do a tidy up, and then we'll have a walk through it all. So I'll speak to you in a bit. Cheers. So back again, doing a big tidy up. It's all working basically. So I left it running for half an hour. I've rechecked everything. There's no leaks, there's no drips, there's no problems. So this is it. This is where we are. I don't know how much you'll see in there, but as I say, risking boring you to death with what I've already said. One pump, 18,000 litres an hour under there, operating at about 40% at the minute, through the 55 watt ORZ Bitron, out through this pipe, which goes down the back and around the side and then down, and it's got a high water return and a mid water return. So this pump is only pumping back into that, back into those 2 parts of the pond at the minute through those 2 returns. So the 12,000 litres per hour Aquamax pump, which you can probably see better through there. So it's all hard plumbed in now, which is great. So that comes up through the connectors here. I've had to do a bit of a shimmy to get it through the hole in the wall, but it is what it is. And then the other side of the wall that connects to the plumbing that was already there for the air source heat pump. So now, rather than having to balance that valve and balance that valve and balance that valve to try and make sure I'm getting the right flow through each part of the system, I can obviously do it all on here now. So that's the control. All the valves are wide open. That's the controller for the 12,000 litre pump, and that's the controller for the 18,000 litre pump. And it is just a case. I mean, these are so easy. I don't know if you can see the numbers, but it gives you. It's on 45% at the moment, but literally just up and down it. That's all you need to do, and it'll change how fast it's running. And because there's not a lot of pipe work here now, it's not split between 2 big runs of pipe. Obviously, it's more efficient. So yeah, really good stuff. The only thing I noticed is that because I've got although I think running at 40%, 50% should be the same as the other pump, it clearly isn't, because there's much more draw through the pump, as can be seen by the difference in the water level. So I've just had to move one of my sensors slightly, but again it's cleaning every 20 minutes, it's working absolutely fine, so really pleased with it. No doubt I'll find some other jobs to do, but that's my big job done for the weekend, so I'll bask in the glory of it all working at the moment, touch wood. Thanks for watching, hope you found it useful. There'll be some more videos coming with other little bits and pieces on. I'll try and keep them regular. I know it's going to get harder as we go into the winter, but thank you to all my subscribers for staying with me. Much appreciated. To any new ones, thank you very much. If you're watching this video for the first time and you like it, please subscribe. And that's about it, I think, until the next one. So remember, words of advice from me: do your research, and then you won't need to panic. Take care.